Alright, baby, let's go. Another episode. Hey, there we are. Yoink. So I tried out the new Leagues of Votan Codex. My opponent was Roger. It's one of our best players on Dark Angels, the Wrath of the Rock detachment. I was playing the Index detachment, the modified one, the Oathband. And yeah, I've noticed a lot of people have been playing Dark Angels Wrath of the Rock recently. It's just Dark Angels are cool and they finally have a detachment they like. Yay. Yeah. I don't want to do mud today. I'll do fishing. Oh, yeah. Uh, yeah, so yeah, I was winning in the early game, you know. There was some changes, but in the grand scheme of things, there wasn't too many changes to the army. Compared to Index, most of my stuff still did what it did similar things. Except for no +1 to wound and no +1 to hit. The +1 to hit for objective marker abilities was a lot harder to trigger than the +1 to hit you used to get for judgment. And the +1 to wound would have really been helpful to counteract the Wrath the Rock detachment ability. But anyway, I was still winning during the beginning by a lot, but then ooh, he caught up and ended up tying us, and basically board wiped me. It was free to collect points and I lost. But most of the game, even with using the stratagems that cost 3 yield points, because of how strong of an early game I had, I had so many yield points. I spent most of the game on the uh, defend assets. What fortified holdings? I don't remember what it's called. The defensive one. I spent almost the entire game on that. I mean, my army rule is basically his detachment rule at that point. He was also playing a lot of Raven Wing because it affects both mounted units and infantry. Yeah, so he went way more with his Wrath of the Rock into mounted. That was interesting because most of the time, all the other times I've versed Wrath of the Rock, it's always been Terminators blade guard, all the different infantry stuff. So it was cool to see her more focused on the Raven Wing. Spikes, spikes, spikes. All in all, didn't play too badly. I was not making any charges though that game. Oh man. My berserkers would be completely useless if they didn't have a fight on death. And my half guard also didn't make any charges. None. And they don't have fight on death, so they kind of just died. Ooh, nothing. I should get rid of that. In in other news, Helldivers, the Xbox players have now joined us, and we've now got the new Halo ODST Warbond that I haven't played around in higher levels of it. I've purchased it though. So I've got the new Warbond, and I've spent all my medals that I saved up. But I need to play some more games where I can get some more medals and get a feel for these new weapons. But it's so cool having Halo stuff. I loved the Halo games. They were fun. Except for I never played 5 or Infinity. Infinity I just never played. And 5 is my copy of it broke before I could play it. Yeah. Happens when you buy games on disc. Oh. And not just that. They also announced the next big update. That's a purely bug-focused update, adding new Gloom planet, new underground missions and area, new burrowing bug types like a burrowing charger. That's whatever. Oh my god. I thought chargers were already pretty stealthy. Because sometimes I just don't hear them coming and they whack me from behind. Now I can't see it coming, but I feel like burrowing charges are going to be pretty obvious because it's probably going to have like some ground particles to give you time to move out of the way. Otherwise, it would be way too strong. We might finally get a Hive Lord. Also, fighting bugs underground is just Deep Rock Galactic, and we've been playing that recently. So now Helldivers is Deep Rock Galactic. This update's also coming out September 2nd. That isn't too far away. Like, that's not too long of a wait. It also has a cool new warbond, the Desert Fighters, with an AK that does fire damage. The missile silo launch thing, that was pretty cool. All in all, pretty cool stuff coming to Helldivers. Can't wait for a dragon to kill me. And it got me thinking, because this is a bug focus update, are we going to get a big bot focus update next? With all new bots and a new bot planet and missions? Uh, but then I was thinking, like, what kind of bot missions? My first thought was, like, a cyber world that has been heavily industrialized for the bots and is just filled to the brim with bots, but I feel like that would be really annoying. As their version of, like, a Gloom planet. Cyber factory world. But when I asked a friend, his suggestion was battling on a ship, and I really like that idea. I want to fight. I want to do some void battles, fighting in space, in spaceships against the bots, because they gotta have spaceships. How else are they getting planet to planet? Space combat is very important, arguably more important than ground combat. As anyone that's played Stellaris would tell you. But of course, it would be a completely different gameplay if we were having spaceship fighting other spaceships. So it'd be like a boarding action. Would be boarding the enemy ship. Trying to break into. I think that would be cool. Either that or like we've just like I guess we could just fight in a mega fortress that's like a building that's gigantic to mimic the undergroundness of the bugs. Yeah, when the new Halo, the ODST armor, one of my friends was looking at it, I was like, it looks modded. It doesn't look like Helldivers. It's like, yeah, because it's not Helldivers. Mm, yeah. Yeah, my friend opened 2 new Yu-Gi-Oh boxes, pulled uh, double Starlight, like one in each box of Dirac Meteor, and none of the Orcus cards he wanted. So, take that a lesson to buy singles, kids. You might open 2 boxes, get lucky with 2 starlights of the same card, but get nothing you actually wanted. At least he had it, the trade material. Alright, I'll end the episode here. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.